world of YouTube Live, Archie here. We have article of Fitchburg, Mass. Now, I am not familiar with the date of this, but it's deep from my father's archives that he has saved throughout his many years of saving articles like me. What I started doing. Figured I'd start doing them to go places and show places, but bring you live like I am now. But from preaching to pizza, this church supposedly resided. Now there is still a church, two churches on Main Street, the Rollstone Street, and very bizarre, very bizarre. And to think this goes about being around the time that Abel Baldwin wanted to have a church of his own religion put in Fitchburg, Mass. But they told him no, because the church down at the head of the common was to be only the church to be of Fitchburg. But, oh boy, here we go. Sorry if I'm rudely interrupted into this video. It would be due to my son's friend, William, telling my first son to come down and act like a total berserko whack job. So if you hear any yelling in the background, that is due to this crazy little turd ball named William, who forever seeks publicity of messing up my videos for some apparent reason. Haha. It's alright. It's alright, kid, because when the money comes in, we won't be messing them up then. Ha ha ha. Anyways, back to the reason why I'm making this video. Like I said, if I'm rudely interrupted, please forgive me, because I'll have to start all over and do it the hard way, but it doesn't matter. So let's get back to the story at hand. Like I said, now I forget the story of Abel Baldwin. But I mean, building the church back in the 1800s, I don't know if he died around the building of this church. But bizarre story. They built two churches, but wouldn't let him build one. And he set a curse upon Fitchburg of Sodom, which Sodom, if anybody knows, comes from the Bible of Mr. Jesus. I mean, the almighty God himself declared Sodom on the wicked people that he created, and let them all burn in the city of wickedness to their death. And believe me, there were some mysterious things that had happened when I started shaking up the grave of Abel Baldwin. And talked about these many churches now that reside throughout the town of Fitchburg. Some are shut down, one's a theater, which I'm wondering if this is the one on Rollstone Street that is the theater. But it's very, very hard to tell, because it says it was on the corner, and that was a German church that I think I read up on. So, if anything, if this church did exist, I'm going to say it existed with between three churches, which that's pretty insane, because there's a big stone church also on the corner of Rollstone Street. But, of course, that is not this one, as you can see very clearly. And the German church has different windows on the side, and the front of it does not look like that. So I am very thinking that there was another church built there on the corner of Rollstone Street, which now resides of one small, very tiny building in a parking lot that obviously this church was torn down. But it goes on to say that The Universalists believe that the final salvation of all mankind, which in the mid-19th century was radical idea. And the Reverend Charles Hudson of Westminster and Reverend Benjamin Whittemore of Lancaster were among the first to preach the doctrine. Forgive me on these because I don't use these words. And once again, this is an old article. And they don't use words like this no more. For people to know that a lot of words have changed since and taken out of dictionaries, if you hadn't noticed. Because if you go back in the 1930s dictionaries, there's words in there that don't even exist no more. So doctrine in Fitchburg, their followers increased in numbers on October 9th, 1844. So they originated the first Universalist Society of Fitchburg. And 3 years later, they built the church located in the area where most of society members lived. And this one was the church. Is it the one? I don't know, they're talking about this church. They talk about the other church over here, but yeah, that other church was built on a common first. This one was built, and they had a second floor. The first floor was used for commercial purposes. Oh, this is talking about now. Actually, Century Pizza was in this building on the first floor. There was a gymnasium and a athletic club on the second floor, as you can see, the big windows. And there was a city cab on the first floor next to this. So I'm assuming that either this one was the pizza place or the cab stand, or this one, vice versa. And that's what's making me think that, yeah, this building stood right in a spot where there's one single building built now, but a huge parking lot. And I was always thinking, what the hell was in there? There was another part of the building that tore down also that would have stood right here where this white building is. And that right now is used to be a grocery store. As you can see, there's a horse and carriage there. So this is, I believe that in the 1940s and 50s, there was a dog school, held classes there. So, if anything, this building had to have been torn down mid-say 1960s, the church itself. So, I mean, that being said, though, the owner of Century Pizza said it has been inside the former church. The second floor had been empty for years, but still, that, you know, funny, and then the steeple had been blown off by a tornado. I mean, that's another insane thing, but then again, if this was after the fact of the Abel Baldwin curse, well, there you go. The steeple on the church at the center of town on the front of the head of the common, that steeple also fell off. I was about to wonder what Mr. Abel Baldwin really did. Flipping in his grave knowing that, oh, I want my own religion church, but you can't have it because you're going to come here, and then they build them up anyways. And to me, that poor bastard got it every which way but loose. Sucks to say. Then it said that this church here moved east to Day Street. In 1943, they became federated with the local Uranian church a full 20 years before national manager of the two. So that church actually went down to the church on Main Street near Dunkin' Donuts, I believe. And that is also on the Wait a minute, they say in the corner of Day Street. Oh, shit. Tell me there was another church there. Because that other church don't even connect to Day Street. I mean, it's there, but... There you go. Strange things. That's what I like doing about these videos, man. Because a lot of things that change. A lot of things that you miss or see. History needs to never be forgotten. Especially for poor Abel Baldwin, which now sits up in his grave and had to prolong the life to go to a church they didn't even want to be in. You know? Then he went and started fires throughout the cities, and oh boy. What a mess, huh? You know, all under the hand of God. Which leads me to believe what really is being held in the hand of God. Because to me, I don't have nothing against people and believing in the religion of God. I don't have no, racism about people and their religions and what they want to pray, think, do. But to me, right, I got to get back into the Bible, which I have one of the older versions of the Old Testament. And yeah, there's some wacky shit going on. I had to stop due to the fact that, and I'll end it with this. I had to stop reading the Bible because there was two daughters to, I believe, not Noah's Ark. That was, Noah was during the flood times. I believe it might have been John. I don't know. I have to look that up again, but I hadn't gone over that story yet. But I have went over the story of the floodings, and wow, how mysterious and crazy is that? Is the flooding of Texas a sign from God? Because that's what he did to Noah. Told him to make an ark, put the animals on it, your wife and your children, and he was going to drown the rest of the town. Because it was wicked. So it leads me to think, in this next story that I read, it was about, I forget his damn name, I'll get it out there though, I gotta go over this anyways in the video, and he had daughters, and he had sons. Or maybe it wasn't him, no, he had the sons, it was another guy out there, but this guy was talking, his daughters were talking about, oh, we got father's seeds. If you really want to know what that is, I'll have to explain that in the next video when I go over that stuff. But yes, I'll let you imagination run wild about what two daughters did to their father and how, oh, we have to go get father's seeds. Oh my God, what? And God allowed this, mind you. God allowed this. So not only did God make a flood for Noah to get an ark built, and not only did he declare Sodom on a wicked town also and killed a bunch of people for being wicked, he also allowed two daughters to go get father's seeds. So what does really belong in the church of God is beyond me. That's why I say I'm a skeptic about putting my hands together and praying to someone that most rightfully could be the devil himself. That's right. To me, God is the devil. For taking the good too soon and letting all evil roam this earth. I mean, come on. Really, do we all really have to die to go live in a better place? I mean, there are people out there that are happy the way they are here and don't want to die and go to a better place yet. No. But when it's your time, I guess it's your time. And when you're taken too soon, just like, hey, I can make a perfect example of this story. Now I'd say Jim Henson. Very well-known man and very well-known to making the Muppets. One of my all-time greatest shows back in the day when it was realistic. When Miss Piggy would turn around and knock you in the face because you make some rude gesture to her and punch you in the right out when you go taking after her man. That's right. funny stuff. And you got two old men up in the balcony busting balls. I mean, that was back in the day. I mean, when the truth was out and things didn't hurt nobody when things were said, and all this racial fucking bullshit that people intend to keep going about, making their better lives and days and trying to make it all worse than what it is. But I don't know. To see how things all lead to one thing right here. Our God, Lord, our Savior themselves. What did they really create on this earth? I don't know, but I'm going to be bringing you to this place when I get the chance live, and I'm going to go do a little video over there and show you where I think it might have stood. But I mean, until that next video, YouTube Nation, be safe, take care, and believe me when I say, think about it. What really occurs with the Almighty God Himself. Think about it. Get the Old Testament. Find it. Start off reading like I did. And I did put up the video of the Bible. If you want to check it out, of what I did put up so far. But other than that, till the next video, YouTube Nation, like I said, YouTube Live. Church. Abel Baldwin rolling in his grave. Believe me, something terrible happened when I started kicking around this graveyard in stone that sets up on Stone Street, Laurel Street, high above the city of Fitchburg. Man's rolling in his grave. And I think something happened afterwards when I told him that all these churches were built there. Crazy stuff, people, crazy stuff. When I get around stuff, things happen. Until then, think about it. Out.